Hi guys, it's Tenshi, and today I will be showing you guys how to make a cute little pouch from any scrap fabrics you have at home. So let's get started. To get started, you will need your fabrics, and some other materials you will need include buttons, tape measure, pins and needles and thread, a couple of tools to mark and measure your fabric, and also a sewing machine. So now, we will pick out our fabrics, and to ensure sustainability, I am choosing to use fabrics from old projects and old clothing items. This is to target today's current issue of overconsumption. Start with the process of how to make this pouch. I first measured out a 20 centimeter by 20 centimeter square on my first piece of fabric, and I also measured a flap for the closing part of our pouch, and I marked it off here, and I also repeated the same pattern on my other piece of fabric. Once I had both of my fabrics, I pinned together the two pretty sides since we will be flipping this inside out later. Moving to our sewing machine, I straight stitched along the guidelines I made earlier. And from this project, hopefully we're not only gaining a cute pouch from this, but we're also limiting our waste that ends up in the landfill. Once we reach the end, we should leave a little hole so we can later flip this inside out. Once you have something like this, we're almost done, but we need to close the hole we used to flip this piece inside out. So I also sewed a straight stitch to close this up. Now that we have this, we're almost done. This Peppa Pig house looking fabric is going to turn into our little pouch just like this. Since I want the yellow to be on the outside and the jeans to be in the inside, I am going to fold it over itself with the yellow on the inside and sew along the edges. I chose to sew with needle and thread and use thicker thread to make it more durable through the inside. Once you have something like this, you will do the exact same to the other side. We will now flip this inside out and we will be almost done. Once flipped, we should have something like this. And to connect this to the idea of act local and think global, we know how big of an issue overconsumption is in today's world. By repurposing clothing, we hopefully reduce waste and also improve the environment through reducing pollution from manufacturing products. I also had some lace laying around, so I decided to pin this to the edges and sew a straight stitch to connect. Once you have something like this, we're almost done. All you need to do is put in your button. I hand sewed this button into my project, and I just measured out where I wanted it to be and hand stitched. And we're done. To return to the idea of overconsumption, you must be asking yourself, how does this target the issue? Well, using any old or any kind of fabric to its fullest, it limits the amount of waste that ends up in our landfills. It is estimated that 100 pounds of textile waste ends up in our landfills from one person each year. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you can like and subscribe for more of Tenshi's creations.